Imagine the sound of the alarm clock ringing. Before you even open your eyes, you already feel the weight of a day full of commitments. Your mind starts to list all the tasks you need to do: answering emails, solving problems at work, taking care of the family, paying bills. An endless sequence that generates a feeling of anxiety and pressure. This feeling is a constant in modern life. Many of us live in a state of mental overload, where we are always chasing deadlines and goals, with no time to breathe or reflect. Is this search for efficiency taking us away from true inner peace? We are filling our days with tasks and obligations, but in the end, we feel empty, without purpose. In Stoicism and mental minimalism, we find tools that can help us reverse this feeling, simplifying our thoughts and our lives. In this video, we'll explore how to slow down the mind and focus on the essentials. When we talk about minimalism, the first thing that may come to mind is the idea of having fewer things. That's part of the definition, but mental minimalism goes beyond just reducing material possessions. It is about reducing mental noise. It is the practice of carefully selecting which thoughts and concerns deserve our attention, eliminating excess that only causes stress and anxiety. Stoicism, a philosophy that emerged in ancient Greece more than 2,000 years ago, offers a profound approach to this question. The Stoics believe that true happiness does not come from what we possess or the circumstances around us, but rather from how we respond to them. Today we are going to show you how Stoicism and mental minimalism can go hand in hand to provide us with more mental clarity and a life that is more aligned with our values. We're not just talking about superficial techniques to organize your routine or reduce stress. We are talking about a profound transformation in the way you think, which can impact all aspects of your life. And if you like content like this, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel, so you don't miss any news and have a video library rich in content for your personal development. In our daily lives, we are often overwhelmed by intense emotions: anger, fear, sadness, frustration. The Stoics, however, teach us not to be slaves to our emotions. This doesn't mean suppressing or ignoring what we feel, but rather understanding that our emotions are automatic responses and that we have the power to use reason to moderate these reactions. Imagine a situation of conflict at work. Your first reaction may be anger or frustration, but by applying Stoic principles, you can pause, analyze the situation, and choose a rational response. A Stoic does not react impulsively. He takes a moment to consider what is under his control and what is not. This practice of emotional self-regulation is essential to deal with life's challenges in a more balanced and conscious way. One of the deepest and, at the same time, most challenging concepts of Stoicism is the acceptance of fate. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, expressed this poetically when he spoke of amor fati, or love of fate. This concept teaches us to not only accept what happens in our life, but also to embrace each circumstance with gratitude, believing that each event, good or bad, is part of a larger plan that guides us for our personal growth. This means that when something unexpected or unwanted happens, we shouldn't resist or regret it. Instead, we should embrace what life brings, confident that with the right attitude, we can turn any adversity into an opportunity for learning and development. Stoicism values simplicity. Contrary to what many believe, simplicity does not mean deprivation, but rather the ability to discern what really matters. In everyday life, we are constantly bombarded with decisions: what to eat, what to wear, what to watch, where to go. Too many choices can lead to mental exhaustion and indecision. Mental minimalism, inspired by Stoicism, teaches us to focus on the essentials and eliminate distractions. By reducing the amount of trivial decisions we need to make on a daily basis, we free up mental space for what really matters. The incessant desire for more, whether it is more money, more recognition, more comfort, is a constant source of dissatisfaction and suffering. The emotional detachment that Stoicism preaches is a practice of liberation from this cycle. This does not mean that we should not have ambitions or goals, but that we should learn not to depend on external results for our happiness. The Stoics believe that true freedom is internal. When we stop clinging to material possessions and the expectations of others, we experience an emotional lightness. We can enjoy the things we own and the achievements we have achieved, but without becoming slaves to them. One of the greatest sources of suffering is the habit of living in the past or the future. We worry about what we have done or not done, or we look forward to what is to come. The Stoics teach us to focus on the present. The past has passed, and the future is uncertain. All we have is now, and it is in this present moment that we can take action and make a difference. The practice of living in the present is one of the most powerful tenets of both Stoicism and mental minimalism. When we dedicate ourselves fully to the present moment, without distractions, our mind becomes clearer and our actions become more effective. We all carry within us limiting beliefs, often ingrained from childhood, that prevent us from reaching our true potential. Phrases such as "I'm not good enough," "I'll never make it," or "this isn't for me" are examples of beliefs that we cultivate and that end up becoming self-prophecies. These stories we tell ourselves have enormous power over our mindset and, consequently, our actions. Stoicism teaches us to challenge these beliefs and question whether they really have foundation. Think of a recent situation where you felt like something was impossible for you. Now, reflect on whether it was really impossible or if it was your judgment that made you believe it. Identifying these moments is the first step to start removing these mental blocks. Social media is a modern phenomenon that, while offering many opportunities for connection and information, has also become a massive source of mental distraction. Constant comparison with other people's seemingly perfect lives can generate feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and envy. We see the achievements, happy moments, and luxurious trips of others, and subconsciously we begin to ask ourselves, why isn't my life like this? Stoicism teaches us not to worry about what's out of our control, and that includes the lives and opinions of others. Most of the things we see online are just an idealized fraction of reality. By understanding this, we can practice indifference to what others do or possess. The focus should be on our own lives, our internal growth, and how we can improve ourselves, without the need for external validation. Try to limit the time you spend on social media. Do a digital detox from time to time and notice how it affects your mental health. Use this time to focus on activities that really bring value to your life. One of the great challenges of the modern world is the excess of commitments and the amount of things that compete for our attention. However, as we have already discussed, not all of these tasks are essential. A powerful practice that both Stoicism and mental minimalism offer us is clear prioritization. Creating a priority list helps you focus on what's really important, allowing you to invest your energy in the tasks that have a real impact on your life. In Stoicism, we learn that we should live in accordance with nature and focus on actions that are aligned with our deepest values. So, as you make your priority list, ask yourself, is this in line with my principles? Will it contribute to my peace of mind and well-being? Every morning, make a list of 3 things you want to accomplish during the day, focusing on what will have the most positive impact. Eliminate or defer tasks that don't add real value. This will help you avoid mental overload and stay focused on the essentials. Meditation is a central practice in various philosophies and traditions, but Stoicism presents us with a particular form of meditation, daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his book Meditations, often reflected on his life, his actions and his thoughts, seeking to align himself with his Stoic values. The practice of meditating doesn't have to be something complex or mystical. It can simply be a moment of pause to analyze your mind and emotions. Along with meditation, mindful breathing is a powerful tool for calming the mind. The act of focusing on the breath helps reduce anxiety and brings you back to the present moment. Many of the great Stoic masters practiced breathing as a way to keep the mind steady in times of crisis or stress. We live in an era of hyperconnectivity, where we are constantly bombarded by notifications, emails, messages, and social networks. Constant access to technology, while beneficial in many ways, can also be a major source of distraction and stress. Stoicism encourages us to practice detachment from outside influences, and digital disconnection is a modern way to apply this principle. By disconnecting from technologies, even for a short time each day, we can reconnect with the present moment, with our thoughts, and with the people around us. This does not mean that we should reject it completely. You can begin this practice by setting times throughout your day when you'll be totally disconnected. During these breaks, focus on activities that bring you peace and presence. It could be a walk, reading a book, or even spending quality time with family. The main benefit of mental minimalism is the clarity it brings. By eliminating distractions and focusing on the essentials, our mind is lighter and more organized. This allows us to think more strategically and make decisions more wisely. In addition, Stoicism teaches us to deal with life's challenges in a more resilient way. By internalizing the idea that we do not control external events, but rather our reactions to them, we become more resilient in the face of adversity. Think about a difficult situation you faced recently. How did you react? Now, imagine what your reaction might have been like if you were practicing Stoic emotional detachment and focus on the present. He probably would have dealt with the situation more calmly and with less stress. By simplifying our mind and focusing on what is important, we also improve our relationships with others. When we are present in the moment and not overwhelmed by trivial concerns, we become better listeners, more empathetic, and better able to genuinely connect with the people around us. Stoicism teaches us to respect the humanity in others. By practicing indifference to minor offenses and cultivating patience, we can strengthen our relationships and reduce unnecessary conflict. One of the great benefits of adopting mental minimalism and Stoicism in your life is the improved ability to make decisions. When the mind is clear, free of distractions, and focused on what really matters, choices become easier and more aligned with our values. Stoicism teaches us to use reason as the main guide, and this is directly reflected in our ability to make more thoughtful and rational decisions. A Stoic, before making any major decision, asks himself, "Is this within my control?" If the answer is yes, he acts with prudence and courage. If the answer is no, he accepts it and moves on. This hands-on approach helps us avoid unnecessary stress and allows us to focus our energy on what we can really influence. One of the most liberating results of embracing Stoicism and mental minimalism is the sense of freedom that arises. As we begin to eliminate excess, whether it's thoughts, worries, possessions, or expectations, we feel an inner lightness. We stop worrying about what others think, what we can't control, and this gives us a deep sense of independence. The daily practice of gratitude is a simple but extremely powerful technique in both Stoicism and mental minimalism. Marcus Aurelius, in his writings, often reflected on all that he had to be grateful for, even in the face of the greatest adversity. Gratitude teaches us to focus on what we already have, rather than focusing on what we lack or what we want. When we practice gratitude on a daily basis, we shift our focus from desire to appreciation. This creates a change in mindset. Instead of worrying about what we don't control, we learn to value every moment, every person, and every opportunity that life offers us. This brings a sense of contentment and peace, as we realize that we often already have everything we need to be happy. One of the most valuable practices of Stoicism is daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius, for example, used his diary to reflect on his actions, decisions, and thoughts throughout the day. This practice allows for constant self-evaluation, where we can identify our mistakes, correct our paths, and continuously improve. Reflecting on our actions on a daily basis helps us stay focused on what really matters. We can ask ourselves, today, did I act according to my principles? Did I make decisions based on reason, or was I carried away by momentary emotions? These questions help us improve our character and live in a way that is more aligned with our values. Finally, mental minimalism and Stoicism help us create a mental space of peace. As we eliminate noise, distractions, and excessive worry, we begin to cultivate an inner space where we can find serenity, even in the midst of outer chaos. Creating this space of peace is an ongoing practice. It requires mental discipline, daily reflection, and the willingness to let go of what is not essential. Over time, this space becomes a mental refuge that we can access whenever we need clarity and tranquility. Create daily moments of silence and introspection. It can be in the morning, before starting the day, or at night, before going to sleep. Use this time to reconnect with yourself and reaffirm your values. This will strengthen your inner space of peace and help you better cope with everyday challenges. Developing minimalist habits is essential for maintaining the practice of a clearer mind and a more balanced life. This starts with small, daily changes, which, over time, have a significant impact. Stoicism teaches us that change is an ongoing process and that the daily practice of virtue and simplicity is the path to a fulfilling life. Instead of trying to change everything at once, start with one habit at a time. It could be something as simple as reducing the time spent on social media, practicing gratitude daily, or creating priority lists. Over time, these small cumulative changes result in a lasting and meaningful transformation. Pick a habit to start today. It can be something as simple as setting aside 5 minutes of your day to meditate or practice mindful breathing. Focus on this habit until it becomes automatic, and then move on to the next one. Detachment is one of the central pillars of Stoicism. By practicing detachment, we learn not to be emotionally attached to results, material possessions, or external validations. This does not mean that we do not value or appreciate the good things in life, but that we do not become dependent on them for our happiness or well-being. Stoicism teaches us to find internal satisfaction, without depending on external factors. Mental minimalism is deeply rooted in detachment. When we let go of the things that no longer serve us, whether it's physical objects, toxic relationships, or unrealistic expectations, we make room for what's truly important. Detachment is freeing ourselves from the chains that bind us to the fear of loss or the incessant desire for more. Now that we've explored how mental minimalism and Stoicism can transform your life, the action is in your hands. Change starts with small steps, but those steps can have a profound impact over time. Apply mental minimalism today. Start with small changes. Simplify your routine, reduce distractions, and reflect on what really matters to you. Try practices such as daily meditation, gratitude, and detachment, and watch as your life becomes more peaceful and meaningful. To further deepen your knowledge of Stoicism and mental minimalism, I recommend reading 2 essential classics, Meditations, by Marcus Aurelius, and The Art of Living, by Epictetus. These works offer a practical and in-depth insight into how to apply Stoic principles in your everyday life. The journey to a simpler life focused on what really matters is a continuous transformation. By incorporating these principles into your daily life, you will experience greater mental clarity, inner peace, and a renewed sense of purpose. Remember, true freedom is within you, and Stoic mental minimalism is the way to discover it. Now, I'd like to hear from you. What practices do you already utilize in your life that align with mental minimalism or Stoicism? What challenges do you face when trying to simplify your mind and focus on what matters? Leave your comments below and share your experiences. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue exploring themes of personal development and Stoic philosophy, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm making 2 other videos available on the screen, and I'm sure they'll also be helpful in your personal growth journey.